Okay, so you guys know we are going to have to talk about this Erika Kirk being named CEO of Turning Point situation, all right? Now, look, I'm not here to tell anybody how to run their family, okay? Because I had a corporation at when I first got married and had two children, and then as we ended up divorced, I ended up exiting that company because, of course, those children needed to have at least one available parent to them, all right? But that was my choice, all right? But I'm not here for, my point is, Charlie's whole life, this whole package that he and she, Erika, were selling, all right, was skip college. You don't need to go for college unless you're going to get your MRS degree, find a husband. And you need to be at home making babies, all right? And he said repeatedly that women who had children, their place was in the home. Okay. He also, let me circle back for 1 second. So the whole thing about free speech, right? So it's like everything that's happening now is literally the complete opposite of what Charlie preached the whole time he was on earth spewing hate, okay? I mean, not everything the man said was hateful, but yeah, like 95% of it, all right? Okay, guys, let's go over Erika Kirk's past for a minute, all right? Just to show you the hypocrisy here, okay? And then I'm going to get to the whole CEO thing in a second, all right? Because I can speak on that intelligently because I had an S Corp for many years, so I appreciate the difference between an S Corp and a 501c, all right? Not in a boring way, but just stay with me for a second, okay? This woman, Erika Kirk, whose maiden is like Fransby or something like that, I don't know. Anyway, she went to college. She was an NCAA athlete. She played basketball, okay? Then she graduates college. She's off doing like modeling or some other nonsense, okay? Then she goes back and she gets so her undergraduate is in like government and politics or something, and with a focus on international relations. Then she goes on to get a quasi-legal degree and then goes on even further to get her doctoral degree. So Charlie Kirk is married to a woman who is educated so far past him, right? From my understanding, I don't know his whole past, Charlie Kirk, but as I understood it, he's a college dropout, okay? And your wife has a doctoral degree, but you're telling her to stay at home, which, anyway, okay, so think about that whatever you want. And guys, I don't mean this with any disrespect. I'm simply looking at it through the lens of, are you fucking kidding me? Like, walk the talk, okay? Anyway, so they meet, and he's always talking about like, oh, if you get to 30, your chance of having kids are blah, 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 this, that, and the other. He didn't even meet Erika until she was, I believe, 29 going on 30. And she didn't even start having his children until she was 33. All right? So now, this thing has happened to Charlie Kirk, which of course means that these children now only have one parent. So you would think that to honor Charlie's legacy, she would step back and say like, there are tons of people to run TPU, right? And that her focus, she can hire people to run Charlie's legacy or to run Charlie's whatever you call it, TPU. But the kids, they only have just the one mom, right? You can have a nanny, but that's not the same as having your mother, okay? And when one parent, and again, I've walked this talk, all right? So this was my choice. I'm not telling Erika Kirk what to do. I don't know what I would do if I were in her situation. I'm only reflecting on the fact that this feels distasteful, all right? So now the kids only have one parent, and instead of honoring all that shit that they made all that money on, preaching all that nonsense to all those young people, right? About starting families young, this, that, and the third, she's like, nah, bet I'm going to become CEO, okay? And guys, when I tell you, TPU is not a tiny company. This is a company with, I believe, as of when I looked this up, I'm sorry, I have like a hair that's trying to attack me. Like 681 employees and an asset base of like $28 million, okay? So just for clarification, because I didn't know this until I had my own corporation, okay, so you have a 501c and then you have for-profit corporation, right? You can have a C Corp or an S Corp, and it doesn't matter, boring difference. But, okay, so a 501c, the nonprofit, all right, they cannot do direct political endorsements. They cannot campaign for, and I'm sorry, real quickly though, like, which political party is TPU aligned with? I mean, there's no question if you ever look at any TPU event who they're aligned with. But to maintain 501c status, you cannot campaign for another political party. So we'll put that to the side, all right? Most nonprofits, all right, so for-profit corporations, they can take their assets and they can distribute them to the owners or their shareholders, right? So let's say that the company made $100 a year, right? The bosses could each take $20, and if there were $60 left over, if there were shareholders, they would distribute those $60 amongst the shareholders, okay? So that's how a for-profit corporation runs. A 501c, that operates like you have to reinvest the dividends, right? Anything that you earn, your earnings, anything that you earn has to be reinvested, okay? But you are allowed to pay. Shut. My watch had an opinion. You have to reinvest them, okay? My point is you can't distribute them to shareholders or owners. What you can do is you can pay owners a reasonable salary. Now, when I had my company, I did not pay myself this. I mean, I wasn't running a nonprofit either, but he was paying himself between $300,000 and $400,000 per year. That's what I understand from the filings, the tax filings. Okay, so is that reasonable? I don't know. Y'all tell me. Private jets, first class plane tickets paid for by the nonprofit. All of that for me feels like you're looking at a for-profit. I mean, guys, this nonprofit has scaled faster than most tech startups, okay? They went from like 4 million, I want to say a few years back. They took in $85 million last year, from what I understand, between speaking engagements, merch, donations, all that nonsense, okay? So yeah, I mean, quite frankly, it never even occurred to me that Turning Point was a nonprofit. I almost fell off my chair when I looked that up. I'm like, what? Like they're classified a nonprofit? Like, wow, we are really playing fast and loose with the tax laws. That was shocking to me. Okay, so now on to the Erika Kirk side of it for just 1 second. Sorry, I'm like going on because I didn't want to get on here last night because when I first heard about this, after I died laughing, I was like, what? Like, y'all are being so obvious. Like, you are literally out here in the street. And look, if you're on the right and you're watching this, you can't get mad at us for analyzing the hypocrisy in the fact that your side is literally doing everything opposite of what wherever Charlie is in this world, he's like, what? Wait. Woman supposed to be in kitchen making sandwich. Woman now becomes CEO. Me no likey. All right. I mean, look, if you think that what Charlie Kirk was preaching is what he actually believed, which even that's suspect because obviously the man was preaching a lifestyle and she was preaching a lifestyle that she was not even a part of. Guys, she had, even before any of this stuff happened to Charlie, she had a podcast and a clothing line and all this other nonsense. So the point is she wasn't, Becky Homecki at home raising the kids. She's like these, trad wife influencers who tell you guys to become trad wives all while making trad wife content, which is, of course, a job. I mean, it's just fake as fuck. But anyway, I want y'all to tell me how you feel about this, because I have to tell you, the more this goes on, the fact that she came out only 2 days after her husband's murder was crazy to me. All in white, full battle rattle, standing at his chair. I mean, even then I thought, damn if she doesn't look like she's positioning herself to slide right into that seat. That's what it looked like to me at the time, but I didn't say it because I wasn't trying to be rude. But damn, the man's been gone for like, holy shit, like 8 days or something like that. I don't remember exactly. And yeah, I think it was September 10th. And what's today? The 19th. Sorry, so that's 9 days. And his wife is becoming the CEO. And of course, they're going to frame this as, oh, she's a heroine because she's doing Charlie's bidding and blah, blah, blah. Okay, but if Charlie really wanted her to assume control of TPU, then what Charlie was saying to the rest of the world was bullshit. Because obviously, especially if you lose a parent, the mom needs to be there for whatever the other parent left needs to be there for the children. I don't know. Y'all let me know. This whole thing smells so, like when I told my kids that they had appointed her CEO, they were like, what? I mean, Jesus, do they want to connect the dots for us? And I was like, yeah, I mean, anyway, y'all let me know what you think.